Guys, I'm telling you, the world is a very interesting place, and things are changing around us rapidly. If there's one thing consistent, though, it's Gen Z always finding a new way to go deeper down because they just hit a new low. Many of us, know about the whole cougar thing where older women will date younger men. However, Gen Z is taking it to the next level where more and more Gen Zers are getting into relationships with older women. Now, this is again a trend that had been happening for a number of years, but it's starting to take off. And of course, the women who are getting into these relationships, they seem to think that this relationship is going to lead to marriage. They also think that the fact that they're able to pull younger men makes them high value women. But then these are also the same women that don't want older men dating younger women. It's a very crazy thing. So they dated older men when they were younger, and now that they're older, they're dating younger men, but their goal is to marry older men, and they think that older men who get into relationships with younger women are doing something wrong and they should be stopped. So it was fine for them, but it's not fine for men, and it's fine for them to also date younger men now that they're older, but it's not fine for older men, and they also want to marry older men because the older men are the ones with the resources. This is all crazy. And the Gen Zers are, they're in the middle of all of this because anything where there's degeneracy or stupidity involved, they will find themselves there. It's like, just call my name and I'll be there. So here's the article. Well, 18 reasons. Yeah. Uh, Openness. So, yeah. So this is the article right here. 18 reasons women are dating younger men more often, and it talks about the relationships between older women and younger men still have some social stigma. There are accusations of mommy issues or women attempting to relive their youth, but these barriers are gradually being broken down as society has become more equal for women and their needs are better recognized. And most of these relationships are built on mutual interest and a desire for a happier life. Here are 18 reasons some women are choosing relationships with younger men. So, guys, the reasons why they're doing this is just because they want, they're it's basically going back to the streets. You know, it's really going back to the streets and saying, "Hey, I'm bored and I want excitement." And they're running around with these younger men because they want excitement. They don't want to be stable. A lot of them made money from their divorces. They got alimony. They got like a sizable amount of resources from the men that they were with, and now they're taking that money, going back to the streets and having fun with Chad, Tyrone, Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Miguel, Little Pancho. They love Little Pancho. They love Little Pancho, and of course his brother Sancho. Right? I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again. She was never yours. It was just your turn. These are the men that she loves. These are the men that she wants to be with. Little Pancho. Look at him, so adorable. Fat little belly, chipped tooth. Look at that handsome. Look at that handsome face. Look at that handsome boy. You know, Enjoying his tequila, kicking up his little feet in your bed. And you can't forget about his brother Sancho. It's Pancho and Sancho, hermanos para vida. Okay? They are brothers for life. And they are both plumbers like the Mario brothers, so they know how to lay down the pipe. This is the craziest thing. Okay? This is the craziest thing. So older women are now engaging in this behavior, and Gen Z are at the center of it. And some of the reasons why they're doing this is because Gen Zers evidently have higher energy and stamina. People age differently, and some women are in better shape than their peers. It is only natural that they want partners who can maintain an active lifestyle. Younger men are more open to pursuing sports or traveling to places further afield. Keep in mind, younger men have no money. So these are just boy toys. They're not serious about these young men. They're basically just, they're basically just having their fun, and then while trying to have other men have the state, and then ultimately older men supplement their income because they're still looking for older men. And in many cases, these older women may have an older man at home, but they're out there going around with these Gen Zers and engaging in this openness to physical intimacy. The willingness to explore physical intimacy in different ways is often affected by generational beliefs. For many men who grew up at a time when talking openly about physical intimacy was taboo, it can be an embarrassing and difficult adjustment. Women are taking advantage of modern views and want to explore with younger men who are more open and willing to experiment. And just to let you guys know, a lot of the time you may think that I'm having problems reading some things. It's not, and, of course, I get tongue tied, but there are times when the structure of the sentence might be a bit off. And then there are also times where there are certain words that I have to explain differently so that the overlords will not be upset. So sometimes I'm like instantly trying to translate this into something that will be appropriate that we can say. For example, whenever we discuss someone passing, and it in a certain type of way, I won't use it, a certain word. I will say, control alt deletion, or if they passed away on their very not so good means, I might say self control alt deletion. And those of you that that are able to use critical thinking will say, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it will talk more about it in the comments. But so that's what happens here. So when we talk, so instead of saying something like S, asterisk X, if you get what I'm saying, I will say, physical intimacy. I won't actually say the word. I'll say physical intimacy instead of, what. Anyway, we'll continue on. So another thing is appreciation for confidence and maturity. Women born before the 1980s grew up at a time when they had a defined role. Moving outside of those roles was frowned upon. Some men still hold these views, but younger men are more likely to find confidence attractive, allowing women space to be confident. So these are broke boys. They're going out there, they're getting in a relationship with these broke boys, and these broke boys are just getting access to free physical intimacy. That's all there is to it. You have to understand that Gen Z, these are, I don't want to use the word bums of society, but the hippies were basically bums in society, and the Gen Zers are our modern day version of the hippie. And if you know what the characteristics of the hippie was, they were lazy, they were shady people, they were unhygienic people, they were people that you just could not trust, you would not want to be around. I've talked about, what the results would be like if you send Gen Z overseas to have to settle a domestic issue if there was a crisis and they needed to join the military. You couldn't send these idiots over there. They'll just be over there drinking, sleeping, eating, drinking, using illicit substances, playing games, farting, having a good time, and then doing it all again the next day. You could never put a firearm into the hands of these kids. Like, who in their right minds is going to do something like that, let alone put one of these individuals in charge of machines and artillery that cost tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Guys, those Black Hawk jets, like those Black Hawk helicopters, to my understanding, like some of these things cost like $200 million a pop, like crazy amounts. Like just one of these things costs like hundreds of millions of dollars for this tiny little thing, for like a chopper. And you want to put a Gen Zer in charge of that? Like, these people are not even qualified to bag groceries, and you want to put them in charge of this type of thing? Nah, I don't like Cardi B, because she has a very, very bad past, and she's done some very terrible things to men. But she was absolutely right about Gen Z when she said, these kids, you want to send these kids over there to go handle issues? You want to put these kids in the military? These kids that are dancing on TikTok. And she was talking about the dudes. No, uh-uh, I don't think so. Gen Z is cooked. Gen Z is 100% cooked. And this whole thing where they're running off and, getting into relationships like these, it's just them hitting a new low. You cannot expect anything really good from this generation of bad muffins. Of course, the women who are involved in this, and, they're just basically, it's from the streets that they came, it's to the streets that they shall return, and it's just a full cycle there. You can see what Tia Mowry is doing. She left her husband, of many years to go return to the streets. She said that she got bored in her marriage, and now look at her. She's posting these terrible pictures on Instagram. It's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. And she's using her children as props in her videos. It's sad. It's pathetic. Even her relationship with her sister has seemingly appeared to disintegrate. She's like doing a new show, but she didn't invite her sister. She didn't invite Tamara on there, and it's like Tamara is like happily married. She's in a good marriage with her husband. Guys, I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Like, a lot of the women that I've met, like for example, Soraya is a lovely person. I really, really like Soraya, but I realize the reason why I'm able to talk to Soraya and I don't talk to her very often, but the reason why she is so respectful and she carries herself like a lady is because she is emotionally mature. She is a woman who is emotionally mature. And a lot of women today, they have not developed emotional maturity. They have not developed emotional maturity. And until women develop emotional maturity, it becomes very hard for us to actually have stability in society because there will always be these ups and downs. And women who are going out there and doing this and running around with these little Gen Zers, they are not emotionally mature. They are women who are deeply in their masculine, and a lot of these are former housewives, or still current housewives. They're creeping out on their husbands, and they are not emotionally mature because they've returned to the streets. They're messing around in the streets, and they want Uncle Sam, so basically men and Sims, to supplement their income. These are women who still think that they are tens. These are women who are in their 50s and they believe that they deserve millionaires and that they can date billionaires and that they will not settle. You have so many of these Gen X women who are now older in their 50s, and they are making it very clear that they will not settle. They're no longer, they've left their husbands. And now they're going out and now they're, they're being physically intimate with dozens of these Gen Z men all around the clock. And of course, some of these guys are going to be millennials, but they're good. They're going around with these Gen Z dudes like crazy. And they think this is fun. They think that they're winning, and it's like it's really like they don't understand that they're just reducing their ability to ever find someone else. And all the while, they feel like doing this makes them high value women because they're able to go and pull these young men. Young men are brokies. They're pulling a bunch of brokies. Okay, yeah, because these same young men that they're pulling are not even are young women don't want. Okay, so they're because when they were that age, they were all dating older men, and now that they're older, now they're dating these young brokies, and they're acting like because they're able to do this, they're high value women. These women are deeply in their masculine. These women are deeply in their masculine, deeply in their masculine. They've lost very much touch with reality, and they're not thinking reasonably or rationally because they have not emotionally matured. They have not developed and matured into adult women. All right? They don't know how to carry themselves like a woman would carry herself properly. I saw a comment from Mayumi, and she mentioned this, you know, about a woman knowing how to carry herself as a woman, how a woman knowing how to be a woman. These are things that are important. Okay, men have to learn how to be men, but women also have to learn how to be women. And it's called adulting, learning how to be an adult and understanding how to play your role, and how to, and by knowing these things you learn how to get what you want also. But to do this you have to develop emotional maturity. Stoicism is an interesting thing. Stoicism, believe it or not, is extremely important for men, but aspects of stoicism are also important for women. which is understanding how to respond to things around you. Realizing you cannot control what happens to you in life, but you can control how you choose to respond to it. Women choose to listen to their feelings over facts, and that often leads to many problems for them because they trust their feelings above everything else, even if those feelings are not grounded or rooted in reality, the same way that facts are grounded and rooted in reality. While men trust facts over feelings, and facts can then directly impact a man's feelings. For example, when the facts don't make sense to me and things aren't going well because of that, that's when I get into my feelings, because as a man, facts are everything to me. Okay? Facts are everything to me. Women on the other hand, when their feelings are not, when things are not aligning with their feelings, the facts don't matter. And all the facts in the world won't get her to see the reality of things and to change behaviors that will lead to a better outcome, because her feelings simply are telling her otherwise. By the way, guys, I want to remind you that I have a new newsletter. So go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts and insights. You can click the link in the description to find my newsletter. And also, guys, join the Angry Guy community for exclusive content. Tons of exclusive content on there. Go check it out, Angry Galaxy. All right. Check out my locals, Angry Galaxy, and you can get tons of exclusive content on there, videos, guides, all kinds of amazing stuff. So go and check that out. Yeah, guys, they've hit a new low. They've hit a new low. What do you guys think regarding this? Do you expect it to continue happening? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.